2,000 years ago, Roman legions didn't just march into battle with swords and shields. They brought dogs, massive, armored dogs, some fitted with spiked metal collars, some with burning material strapped to their backs, sent directly into enemy lines to create chaos before the soldiers even arrived. Ancient historians documented this. It wasn't mythology. It was standard military strategy used by Romans, Persians, Greeks, Assyrians, and Mongols across thousands of years of warfare. And here's the part that should genuinely stop you. Most of those dogs still exist. Not museum exhibits, not reconstructed breeds. The actual genetic descendants, same bone structure, same instincts, same raw physical presence, walking around right now in fields and homes, and occasionally past a very startled stranger on a leash. 10 of them today. The one at number 1 has a documented military history stretching back over 4,000 years that makes everything else on this list look recent. Stay for that. Number 10. Great Dane. Yes, the gentle giant of suburban backyards has a war history. Julius Caesar documented encountering enormous, fearless dogs with the Germanic peoples he fought, matching the Great Dane's profile almost exactly. At 110 to 175 pounds, with a height that lets them look most adults in the eye, the intimidation factor alone was a legitimate tactical asset. Today, they're famously affectionate, but underneath that temperament is a physique that hasn't changed meaningfully in 2,000 years. The honest ownership reality, bloat, heart conditions, and joint issues make vet bills a permanent line item. They live only 7 to 10 years, which is the one fact no amount of preparation actually prepares you for. Number 9. Akita Inu. Japan's war dog didn't fight on open battlefields. It held a harder post, personal guardian of samurai, feudal lords, and the imperial family, where a single lapse in judgment meant the death of the most powerful people in the country. At 70 to 130 pounds, the Akita is dense, silent, and deeply suspicious of strangers in a way that doesn't announce itself with barking. It watches, decides. That's more unsettling than a dog that makes noise. Don't get an Akita if you want a dog that's warm with guests. That's simply not what this breed is, and no amount of socializing changes the core. Number 8. Rottweiler. The Rottweiler's war history is specifically Roman and one of the most directly documented on this list. Roman legions marching through southern Germany used large drover dogs to herd their cattle and guard their camps. When the legions withdrew, those dogs remained in Rottweil and spent the next several centuries driving cattle to market, which sounds mundane until you realize controlling an angry bull requires an animal with genuine nerve and bite strength to back it up. At 80 to 135 pounds, with a bite force around 328 pounds per square inch, the bone structure, the musculature, the guard instinct, it's all still Roman. Without early socialization and consistent training, that loyalty curdles into something that creates serious problems. That's the honest flaw, and it's worth saying plainly. 3 down, and we haven't hit the breeds most people outside their home countries have never heard of. Number 7 changes that. Number 7. Tibetan Mastiff. Genghis Khan reportedly kept thousands of them. Attila the Hun used them in his campaigns. Marco Polo wrote about them in the 13th century. But DNA studies push the breed's lineage back far further, confirming it as one of the oldest domestic dog breeds on the planet. At 90 to 150 pounds with that lion's mane and prehistoric bone structure, owning a Tibetan Mastiff means standing next to something genetically unchanged for longer than most civilizations have existed. They're nocturnal, deeply independent, and profoundly uninterested in commands they've decided aren't worth following. Not a first-time owner breed, not even slightly. Number 6. Alano Espanol. Most people outside Spain have never heard of this one. That's a genuine oversight. The Alano Espanol was used by Spanish conquistadors as attack dogs during the conquest of the Americas, a history that's brutal, real, and shouldn't be softened. But the breed predates even that, placed in Iberian warfare as far back as the 5th century. At 55 to 88 pounds, it's not the largest dog on this list, but it's built for sustained grip and control, designed to grab, hold, and not release until commanded. Nearly extinct by the late 20th century, Spanish breeders pulled it back from fewer than 300 individuals. Finding a well-bred one outside Spain today remains genuinely difficult. Number 5. Cane Corso. The internet knows the Cane Corso for the aesthetic. What gets skipped is what it actually was. The Pylos, its Roman predecessor, was documented as Canis pugnax, a purpose-built war dog armored and sent into battle as a distinct tactical unit, charging cavalry and breaking enemy formations. At 90 to 120 pounds today, the physical architecture is almost unchanged. Broad chest, massive head, explosive short burst of speed, territorial instinct. It's all still functional. Here's what nobody tells you. The Cane Corso reads the confidence level of the person holding its leash in real time. An uncertain owner with a Cane Corso is a problem that compounds every single day. Number 4. Kangal Shepherd Dog. The Kangal wasn't used in formal warfare. It was bred for something functionally identical, protecting flocks from wolves, bears, and human raiders across the open Anatolian steppe, alone, with no backup. That pressure over thousands of years produced the highest documented bite force of any domestic breed, around 743 pounds per square inch, inside a body of 100 to 145 pounds that moves at genuine speed. Ancient Assyrian bas-reliefs from around 700 BCE depict massive dogs matching the Kangal's description in hunts and military campaigns. This breed has barely changed since those carvings were made. Experienced handlers describe it as the closest living thing to what ancient armies actually deployed. 6 down. The top 3 are in a completely different historical category. Number 3 opens with a civilization most people know very little about. Number 3. Caucasian Shepherd Dog, Caucasian Ovcharka. Soviet military forces used Caucasian Shepherds extensively in World War II as patrol and attack dogs. Before that, the breed was documented in Caucasian tribal warfare for centuries, guarding mountain passes, assaulting enemy camps. Its ancestors appear in texts from the first millennium BCE. At 170 to 220 pounds, the Caucasian Ovcharka is not a dog you manage. It's a dog you build a relationship with, on its terms, over time, with complete consistency. It has been making independent protection decisions without human input for so long, the instinct is hardwired at the genetic level. The most uncomfortable truth about this breed: the people most attracted to it are usually the least equipped to handle it. Number 2. Neapolitan Mastiff, the Molossus. When historians write about ancient war dogs, they're almost always describing Molossian-type dogs. Alexander the Great used them. The Persians used them. The Epirotes were famous for them across the ancient Mediterranean. These weren't guard dogs reassigned to military use. They were purpose-built weapons with their own tactical role. The Neapolitan Mastiff, at 110 to 150 pounds, is the closest living descendant of that lineage. Those famous skin folds weren't an aesthetic accident. Loose skin made it harder for enemies to get a disabling grip on the dog in combat. They drool at industrial volume, require daily fold cleaning to prevent infection, and come with significant health costs. But when you know what you're looking at, it's 2,000 years of military history staring at you from a couch. Number 1. Saluki, the royal dog of Egypt. Here's where the list goes somewhere completely different. The Saluki is the oldest documented dog breed on Earth. Not approximately oldest, documented oldest. Egyptian tomb carvings dated to around 2100 BCE depict them as hunting and war companions of pharaohs. Salukis have been found mummified alongside their owners, which is a level of cultural significance no other breed in human history can match.